What's going on? Welcome back to Trending Stocks. Today we're going to talk to you about SoFi. I want to go over some of the current data points, break it down on what really caused so much volatility and how Anthony is getting kind of Elon powers. So I'm going to go over all of that. But first, make sure to hit that thumbs up. And with that, let's get right to it. So SoFi did have another pretty epic day, going up 2.05%, a fair amount of volume. So 38.9 million shares being traded, 40.1 is the average. So institutions are kind of seesawing back and forth with SoFi. Today seems to be a overwhelming amount of buys, and you can tell that based on the bid, the ask, and the selling price. A couple of big transactions, 6.05 million, 1.2. So today seems to be a very optimistic day for the broader market, and that's because of, once again, monetary policy. So you had a couple data points coming out. First thing, so initial jobless claims a little bit higher than the forecast, 230 versus 227 the forecast. And then PPI came in higher on the month over month, lower on the year over year. So somewhat mixed data. So as a byproduct, no real change for the 50 basis point cut for the September 18th, but it did increase the likelihood for the November 7th. So as of right now, September 18th, which I feel like I've been talking about this damn meeting for like a good month and a half, like almost every single video. But it is finally here almost next week. So there's an 85% likelihood of a 25 basis point cut, 50 for the November 7th. And then analysts are forecasting for the December 18th meeting for there to be another 25. So I think the market's really pricing that into it right now. So that's what gave it a nice foundation here. But then this kind of thing was very, very abnormal because there was no new ratings, analyst ratings, no new articles, no real big macro events that really prompted this, with the exception of one thing. And this is why I said at the very beginning on how Anthony is maybe getting Elon powers, because Elon back in the day, for those of you that remember and invested in Tesla, he tweeted something, price went up or down like 10% instantly. So when it comes down to SoFi, the only thing that happened at this time period was this. So the head honcho himself, Anthony Noto, did tweet saying, use my referral link to apply for a SoFi personal loan and we'll each get a $300 bonus after your loan funds. So clearly this is his way of saying that SoFi is focusing more on personal loans. So definitely that could be very profitable. He kind of mentioned that in his recent fireside chat as well. So yeah, honestly, this is good. And so if he does continue these positive tweets, then maybe SoFi will kind of hit double digits sooner rather than later. Give him the superpowers of Elon and all the other crap. But yeah, aside from that, no news for SoFi. There was this Form 4 that came out after hours yesterday. Nothing really to talk on here. It's just registering this director, so 𝗪𝗧𝗛𝗧. So again, nothing really to talk on for that. Regrettably, Ortex's website is not working. It is working on my phone though, so I did a quick tweet just to kind of put it in perspective. So you can kind of see right here, 139,000 shares was returned today. 18.58% of the free float is being shorted. Works out to be 194.47 million shares. Still in excess of around 10 million shares available. Cost to borrow average is 0.59%. So kind of in line with what it has been over this last little bit. So yeah, let me know your thoughts on that. So definitely it's always a positive day when you see shorts return. It would be nice to see because under the website you can kind of see the intraday, what shorts did at what time. It'd be interesting to see what percentage of like shorts returning here. And yeah, so all in all, I think a pretty successful day. Going over options, so 4.19 million in calls, 825,000 in puts. So dollar value is kind of in line with the average, but 52% of all the options being done today were optimistic and bullish. And of those, you do see quite a lot was at that 750 mark. And again, as I said, if you look at the closest strike price, usually that's just hedging, but anything above that is optimism. So there's a little bit more optimism floating around with SoFi. Like I said, 2 days ago, we had a bloodbath. Yesterday was a recovery. Today it's like all over the place. So SoFi is very, very interesting, but this is the current open interest. This is the bread and butter that we all care about. Currently 9,000 at that 7, 28,000 at 750, 23,000 at that 8. So essentially, SoFi will most likely, if I can look at my crystal ball for tomorrow, probably close at 749, but hopefully it does come out strong. Institutions continue to buy and really does push it higher. But again, we'll just have to wait and see what does truly happen. But these are some of the transactions that did occur on the dark pool above $100,000. So a fair amount of buying as usual, as you can kind of see. A lot of this is linked to shorting as well as just large entities. So again, institutions are continuously monitoring what SoFi is doing, and yeah, it is what it is. With it closing at $7.46, it is trading between these 2 points. So the pivot in this R1, so 728 will be the strong support. $7.67 will be that next strong resistance / target. So it kind of did bounce off of this low for the pivot, but in my opinion, I think clearly just whether it be that tweet or big money, people want SoFi to be higher, and rightfully so. I think a lot of analysts and just retail investors realize that SoFi should be probably double digits, but it's prone to a lot of manipulation. And looking on the actual chart itself, and actually this is lucid, so you guys don't need to see that. So SoFi, looking right here, it is kind of bouncing, or will be bouncing off of that 200-day moving average. Luckily enough, it did transition from the lower to the higher percentile today, kind of free and clear from that 50-day moving average. So like I said, on the flip side, 2 consecutive days above something kind of signals a trend. So even though this sell-off was rather scary, seems to be out of danger right now. And I'll move it over so you see it a little bit better. And right now on stochastic, you do see a nice bullish deviation. It is still considered rather oversold at 28. So if there's maybe a good piece of news, wink wink, from SoFi, you could see a rush of value investors coming in. And honestly, as little as this tweet right here could be seen as good news, as you saw that big spike in the price, a number of retail investors were getting in. So all in all, that's kind of the quick summary of what happened with SoFi. Like I said, I think bigger and better things are going to be coming for SoFi, and now the market is really pricing in roughly around like 75 basis point cuts in the next 2 months as a very bare minimum. And if that does come to fruition, like I've said, like the consumer's buying power is going to increase. People are going to be out there, as what he's even promoting, looking for loans. It's just going to be one of those very, very beautiful domino effects that really spikes a lot of revenue to come for SoFi, and us as investors will benefit through share appreciation. So let me know your thoughts. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up and subscribe. I always greatly appreciate that. Give yourself a shout out. Did you buy? Did you sell? What did you do with SoFi today? And have you guys been dabbling with options? When it did sell off, I know I don't really give you guys that much updates all the time because I guess it's not really relevant, but luckily this is why you guys need to learn options, because when it did sell off on the 10th, that is the best time to sell puts. So I did sell 650 puts, and honestly, there's no way that SoFi is going to close below 650. So I get some free money for the most part. I get to keep the premiums. So recommend you guys researching options at its highs. You can always sell calls or covered calls, or flip side, sell puts, or if you're a little bit more risky, buy or sell both calls, puts. So let me know your thoughts. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up. And with that, appreciate all of you watching.